What is up, everybody? Welcome to the 2021 Duels Spring Single Episode 6. That's supposed to say Episode 6 right there. Yeah. Nice. How's it going, everybody? I am doing great. Not a lot to report on the Delthius side. I need to get back on doing replay casting. I've been slacking on that a little bit, but I might have to do another day of the week because Friday nights are really busy for me now, so I'll figure that out on my own time, but good to see y'all. Hope you're having a good weekend. Got some D&D going on a little later today. I'm excited about that. We had a couple weeks off, so should be a fun session. But today we are looking at some more matches from the 2021 Duels. We are on Stage 2 for the first round, where Cactus, with 3 lives left, is going to be going up against the Kid with 9 units in the deck. I need to load the website back up. That website is super awesome, by the way. If you are not familiar with the website, check it out. I will link it right here. But it's a great way to kind of keep up with the tournament, see what's going on. Fantastic tool. So without any further ado, let's get into it. I'd be able to move this over here. Let me check everything. Looks like my levels are pretty decent, I think. Maybe do a little bit of that right there. There we go. All right. All right. Let's hop into it. Game number 1. Okay, spawning on the bottom, we have the Challenger Cactus against the boss up on the right-hand side, the Kid. So 9 units in the deck for this stage. No toads allowed. And it always feels a little bit awkward trying to analyze these 9-unit decks here because the players really have a lot of avenue to do whatever they want. Pretty interesting from the Kid. I like the triple tier 3 with the actually both sides with Ferret and a lot of defense. That seems like a good move, to be honest, when you have 9 units in the deck because it's not as much of a commitment. Like, hey, if the map kind of dictates that it's good to try to do some sort of Ferret defense push, you know, great. If not, you've got plenty of other options there. So most notably, though, Cactus feels a little more all-in on the structures here. No tier 3 for the hyper late game, but does have stuff like cams and falcons to kind of get there if needed. But if the Kid just really starts pumping out tier 3, we got a little bit of a rush, by the way, from the Kid, but single turret's gonna dissuade that from now. Even Cactus throwing down a back turret there just to be super safe. I would have understood that a little more, I think, if the Kid had lizards, but actually, sure enough, the Kid is gonna try to come around here. And there is the turret, so he's gonna have to back up. 2 squirrels is not gonna do it. I think 3 squirrels probably kill a turret, but you wouldn't really have enough squirrels left over to get a pig, but he tries to go for the pig anyways, actually gets it. The Kid finds an angle in here to get something done. Loses 3 squirrels in the process, but still a good trade. We have 2015, 2021 duels left. This is true. This is gonna go on for infinity. Alright, the Kid expanding, keeping the pressure up. Nice aggressive game here in match number 1 for the day. But at this point, Cactus does have enough squirrels up of his own. Should be able to clean this up with Defender's advantage, so. The Kid is going to have to back it up for now. Does have that expansion up and running, though, and I'm curious if we are going to see any defenses. So far, just more tier 1, just getting into that Squizzard. And let's see how the match progresses from here. Cactus does have an option for his own expansion here, but actually just railing down to tier 1, going to try to punish the Kid for all the losses that he's sustained early. He needs to be careful not to lose the commander. The commander does go down. And this is a little bit awkward for the attacking squirrels, all trying to find their own tile before they actually start shooting. Getting caught here in this little choke, taking really, really heavy losses there. Good hold from the Kid. Cactus a little bit too bold there, moving forward. Through this little choke. This is actually a very defensive position for the kid. Now that I look at it more, like, there's really no way to come in. And well, I guess you can go all the way around from this angle. Trying to attack in, you're always going to be in that concave versus convex situation, which you never want. Because it is all about that surface area. Cactus trying to explode up on some second base farms. The kid moving in for another attack here. Cactus needs to get into position. This is definitely going to be a couple dead farms here. One goes down, the other one gets sold. And is Cactus going to have enough units to defend this? It doesn't look like it. The kid smashing through. Cactus is going to be able to sell those farms. A really, really good attack here from the kid. He's up 3 farms on the second base at home. He's keeping the pressure on. A little bit of an overextension here, just trying to end the game. That happens very, very often in Tooth and Tail. This is the first match, yes. And here's that Badger coming out of the kid. The Cactus does need to scout this. He doesn't have a lot he could do against the Badger, but he does have some Falcons. That's normally enough if you can get the right angle. Like 4 Falcons will snipe down a Badger pretty quickly if he doesn't have that healing support. But we should see... Actually, the kid doesn't have pigeons. I was going to say the kid will probably start adding on pigeons as the Badger gets closer to being finished. But yeah, no pigeons here from the kid, so that Badger is not going to be super effective. However, if Cactus never realizes that the Badger is coming out, it might just win the game anyways without the pigeons. Because Cactus really doesn't have the units that he needs to deal with that Badger. You really need that burst from the Falcons, or some poison from the snakes, or some fox action, something like that. And Cactus is just not able to get in there. Love these turret positions, by the way. Cactus will need to run all the way around, and even puts the lizards over there to deny the scouting even further. Really smart positioning by the kid. Alright, both players on full second base here. And yeah, Cactus is just not getting into what he needs, but hasn't been able to get into in scout. The kid has taken some good measures to prevent that. And now the Badger is here. Let's see if the kid can just crush on through with that Gatling gun. Cactus sees the Badger now and is not going to be happy. He's just trying to focus down a lot of the supporting units. Leave that Badger exposed by itself, but I think this is going to be too much damage. And the kid looks like he's on the way to win the first match here. Nice and quick, action-packed game. Yeah, the Badger getting really low. The damage is already done. Cactus taps out the kid. Takes round number 1. So Cactus down to 2 lives left. And gets to try again. Remember, if you lose 2 lives, then you auto-advance to the next stage. So Cactus can't completely die here, but is going to want to move on with as many lives left as possible. On the bottom right, we've got the kid, rocking the same deck, and up on the top left, Cactus. Actually, it looks a little bit different. Well, it might be the same. I don't recall if he had snakes last time. Cactus changing it up a little bit, though. Dropping some of the defense, grabbing some wire, grabbing some moles, actually. I wonder if he's going to really want to turn on the aggression this time around. Pretty linear map here. The kid does have a nice little, not quite a pocket base, but a more defensive second base in the back. But, you know, I'm always really worried in these sorts of situations, because the kid might think, okay, you know, I want to take this second base, it's nice and safe, but if he does that, then Cactus takes these bases here, starts setting up defense, you know, the kid will get zoned out of this completely. And looks like we have some regression. 5 farm double from the kid. Cactus did scout it out, so he went for a 6 farm double himself. He's getting some barbed wire out. And I think this time around he should be okay. Ooh, actually sold that one piece of wire. He's only got one squirrel. Ah, he's gonna lose a pig. Oh my gosh, that was so close. If he didn't sell that wire, maybe he wouldn't have lost that pig. Really unfortunate there for Cactus, but not the end of the world. Gonna take a couple losses in the early game, but keep in mind that the kid's economy was a little bit more delayed. Cactus is gonna go for a counterattack though. Yeah, I'm not so sure if that would work. He comes back home. Oh no, but leaves the squirrels out exposed with no micro. The kid should be able to take a decent trade here, being able to target fire. That was pretty close. I think the kid did eke out maybe an extra lizard or two, or extra squirrel. Really aggressive start from these players. It's kind of funny because we're on the stage with the 9 units in the deck, and we're not going to see more than a couple in these matches, I'd imagine, as they're so action-packed. But you know, this kind of rush distance, this kind of small map, that's a little bit to be expected. Yeah, the kid's got to get this base down, or it does stink to be on the low ground like this. But he's got balloons, he's got turrets. Maybe he can start reinforcing this position. Cactus opting to stay on pure squirrel here against pure lizard. Typically that does favor the lizard player. Here comes another engagement. Yeah, the lizards will be able to clean this up. Actually pretty close trade. The squirrels had decent positioning when that started. Just more tier 1 from both sides so far. Cactus adding on some wire. Oh no, he just added the wire back on the side over there. I'd love to see some wire on the front. Yeah, these trades are not going to be good for Cactus. He's being very bold with pure squirrel here. And the kid pushing forward, yeah, just continuing to try to fight lizard with squirrel out in the open. Is not working out for Cactus. And every one of these trades, you know, the kid has just been winning by a couple units here and there, Even was able to sneak out a farm on the back of this. And those little advantages have compounded in a snowball to the point where the kid blasts on through with the lizard aggression, knocking out 2 lives from Cactus. And we're gonna have another stage 2 game here with Leon. So let me set up the scoreboard. Let me find Leon on the website. Yeah, check this website out, y'all, if you haven't already. This is pretty cool. So I would just come over here to standings, and I'd find Leon. Let's see how many lives he's got left. Let's see. Leon is still on 4 lives. Then you can go over to stages. Yeah, I love this. The kid, stage 2, deck size 9 toads are banned. Bam. Perfect. Okay. So Leon on 4 lives here. Gonna go up against the kid as well. Alright. Let us get into it. Match 2 here. I can also check in the stage and hover on Leon's picture in the stage overview. Oh, let me see what we're talking about here. Ziggy12 in the bottom right, our challenger Leon. Not to be confused with Mr. Ziggy. And up in the top left, we've got the kid. So if I go to stages, you can also check in stage and hover over Leon's picture. I don't see Leon's picture in stages, I just see the boss. Oh wait, no, yeah. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, that is way easier. Nice. Awesome. Get the live updating going. Alright. Sorry, I've been looking at this website for a minute. Yeah, that's way easier. Okay. So the kid, with some more aggression yet again, looking for some damage here. Not going to find it this time around. More of a mid-range size map. This could lead to a good macro game, both sides of a lot of tier 3. You got that Wolf Fox coming out from Leon here. We just need to give this game a little bit of time to brew on this Sunday morning here, much like my coffee. I stayed up way too late last night, scheming for D&D. It's so hard. It is getting difficult because my players are all such high level now, right? Like you can't pull stuff out of your ass like you used to be able to, you know? Because engagements have to be against like high challenge rating enemies, and then high challenge rating enemies all have like their own lore associated with them, you know? You can't just bring them out whenever like you can with like ogres and goblins and that kind of thing. So it's kind of fun as a DM to like think about the different possibilities of what the players might do, and of course they always surprise you. But here comes the kid, moving in. Aggression has been the name of the game for the kid all morning here. Nice sell on those farms though by Leon. You know, it takes a couple punches, but the kid actually getting cleaned up there. And Leon selling off those farms really mitigated a lot of the damage the kid was looking for. So we've got Squizzard coming out against Pure Lizard here. And this is kind of a tricky comp to call. You know, it can depend on the positioning on the terrain a little bit, on how well those squirrels can get the shots off. Engagement coming in though. I think this is enough lizards to just clean this up, however. Yeah, Leon really needed more lizards there with the squirrels. And the kid really, you know, is kind of a pedal to the metal player. Once he takes a good engagement, he comes in here, he looks for some damage, he does get it. the boss with 9-unit deck here, just spamming lizard. Classic. See, this is the equivalent of Gentleman being the DM here. Like, alright, the kid, you know, you've got 9 units in your deck, you can do whatever you want, this is gonna be fun. And he's like, no man, I'm just gonna spam lizards. Alright, so we are stabilizing into full second base saturation. Leon has taken some losses here in the early game, but let's see, he looks to be about 2 tier 1 Warrens behind. However, I don't think the kid is in a position where he can just come in and win the game at this point. You know, gonna need something to finish this up. Yeah, it's just gonna be pure lizard. Actually, some squirrel in there, so we got Squizzard from both sides. Oh no, Ziggy is not at home. Ooh, the balloon, I don't think is the right choice here. Typically, the balloon is not so great against Mass Tier 1. The kid's just gonna move in here with the squirrels and actually knock it out. Coming for a big engagement. Leon just getting back home from the scout about on the map. This just might be too much from the kid, or is it gonna get cleaned up? It's always so hard to tell. Yeah, Leon does have plenty of tier 1 Warrens to reinforce to get back to the front lines. And defend all that, does lose a balloon, does lose the pig, and I mean, it felt like the kid traded a little bit better, but the army graphs say otherwise. Leon again trying to get that balloon up. I don't think balloon is what you really want against Mass Tier 1. You'd much rather have turrets here, but Leon doesn't have access to turrets. Another engagement. And I think the kid is just gonna win this one handily. Yeah, 20 tier 1 left over. Gonna come in and slam. And welcome to the jam. Taking another life. And eating all the ham. I made my wife laugh with that one, so good enough for me. Alright. Leon 2, let's go. Okay, spawning on the right-hand side, we've got Leon, aka Ziggy12. SCC. And over on the left, the boss. The Slaughterer. The Conqueror, the Kid. And I think the Kid is a little bit of a newer player. It's hard for me to say that. I say that too often and I'm wrong. I'll be like, dude, he's been playing for like 9 months. What are you talking about? I always think of the Child when I see the name the Kid. We used to have, I don't think he's super active anymore, but there was a great player that was pretty active in events called the Child. Back in the day. And I think Leon is like an older player that kind of took a break for a long time and has come back. Something like that. Good to see everybody here. Hope y'all are having a great weekend. Got some pre-8 farm lizards from both sides here. Pretty big map. It'd be nice to see a macro game, but I don't think we're going to get one until we're finished with the Kid matches. This guy is super aggressive. Logicino confirming in the chat the Kid is a new player. Grabs that pig, loses the lizard, so he does leave himself open to some counter aggression here if Leon moves out right here, right now, but maybe the map is large enough that by the time Leon gets over, the Kid's lizards have rebuilt here. Yeah, sometimes like diving in and inefficiently trading army to kill a couple pigs can actually bite you in the butt if the map is short enough. And this time around, Ziggy does manage to get in there and kill 2 farms, and that was really more about the attack path that Leon, I shouldn't call him Ziggy, because we do have another player, Mr. Ziggy, not to be confused with. But again, here comes the counter blows from the Kid. This game is a slaughter fest already. Both sides losing 2 pigs and a ton of lizards. Okay, we might be kind of stabilizing in this match. Some of the early game slap fights are about over. As I say that, Leon is moving out. Oh man, too bad this little piece of high ground right here doesn't have a ramp. Well, I guess this one does. Imagine an artillery cannon right there. That would make my morning. That'd be so sweet. I love this forward base from Leon too. To really just try to secure the map. You know, if you can hold this line, then these other 2 bases later on are free. Man, the Kid is crushing it today. So far, he's 3 for 3, right? He's won all his games. Alright, Leon taking an engagement. This one actually should go pretty well for Leon, I think. Nice, yeah. Leon getting a good trade, but needs to be careful not to overextend here. I think this is the area where a lot of people mess up. He probably just needs to pull back from here. He's gonna keep pressing the issue. Actually, maybe he's getting enough. He's gonna start getting out of these warrants. Yeah, the reinforcements from the kid are not coming out fast enough. Actually, you know what? Leon's got like so many more tier 1 warrants. When I was saying he should have pulled back, I kind of assumed they're on like the same amount of warrants here, but no, Leon was up a considerable amount. He had like 3 extra tier 1 warrants throughout the early game, and there he is. He will crush through. Yeah, gentlemen getting confused in the chat too. Yeah, I think the assumption we both had on that, with where he won the fight, you know, he was killing some reinforcements, and then pulled back on the second, was that they had the same amount of warrants, but the kid somehow had less tier 1 warrants there. And Leon just slammed on through. Alright, we've got some more kid action. This is Kid Day, Kid City. The Kid Punk 2077 here. Alright, that one wasn't so good. But I tried. You know what? I tried. Alright, Indrews with 4 lives. Still remaining here. Okay. I think we're all set to keep on rolling with some more 2021 Duels action. Let's get into it. Bam! Indrews, stage 2. Spawning on the bottom, we have the kid. And the opponent over to the left, Indrews. Okay, yeah, I don't know, guys. I know I've slacked on the feast for a while now. It's been basically since I started my new job, but I get off pretty late at night, and then I raid on Friday night, so I might just need to switch that night around that I do the feast. Maybe I'll go back to Wednesdays or Thursdays or something like that. I'll try to figure it out. But do keep sending me replays. I have still gotten them trickling in. Not in the normal quantity, but that is my own fault since I haven't been casting them. What's Indrews doing? Bam. 7 farm lizard. Okay. Does he know where the opponent is yet? Yeah, he did scout. It's actually a pretty quick rush distance with the lizards here. But I don't know if 7 farm lizard is really going to be fast enough to make a difference. Yeah, I think by the time he gets there, the kid's just going to have a couple of his own lizards and be fine to defend, so Indrews is not really going to try to push the issue. I think a 7 farm Warren into 8 farm Warren could punish your opponent if they went for like an 8 farm single tier 1 into an expansion or into a tier 2 or something like that. Oh my gosh, are we gonna get a macro game this time around? Is it actually gonna happen? The kid says, I don't know, man, as he throws down more Squizzard. Yeah, Indrews trying to be the honorable nerd here, trying to farm up. Oh, this is gonna be a disaster, though. Gets a sell on one of those farms, but still takes heavy losses. What was I thinking? A macro game with the kid in it? I don't think so. And so far, so good for the kid. He's moving forward. Still thinking about some more aggression. Actually has a really big lead right now. Just poking with the couple squirrels. I like this a lot. Takes the engagement, and Indrews just can't deal with it. The kid on fire this morning. What if the kid secretly is the child? What if that's the big spoiler? The big reveal? The big plot twist? Ooh, we got some stage 6 today? Hype? Kind of looking ahead a little. Alright, last stage 2 match. Let's see if Indruis can defeat the kid, or if he's gonna have to go into stage number 3 with only 2 lives left. In the bottom right, we've got the kid. His opponent up top, we've got Indruis. So what do you want to do against this kind of play? I mean, a little bit of wire wouldn't hurt. Trying to get into double skunk. I mean, you can say things like, oh, if you get into double skunk or double cam or boar, something like that, you can deal with this pretty nicely, but the problem is the kid's not giving the opponent the chance to get there, you know? And that's one of the powers of Squizzard play under good control, is like, you know, you keep the game aggressive. You have a lot of tempo with Squizzard. You're not just sitting around kind of letting the opponent do what they want. You're dictating how the match goes. And since your opponent's going to constantly be losing units, constantly have to rebuild, they're not going to be able to get into that tech that they want to get into. They're going to be forced to play your game. And the spawn is kind of interesting. Like, I like the dichotomy going on here. Indruis, yeah, he's got a okay natural base, but most of the rest of his real estate's a little bit far away. The kid is a bit opposite. He's got 3 bases here nice and tight, but only 1 more to the side. So it's like getting to 3 bases will be a little bit easier for the kid, but if this game goes to the hyper late game, there is an extra mill on Indruis' side of the map. What's up, Ghost? Wildkin, Mochaccino, Tiki, Greg, Awkward Fish Guy. Good to see all of y'all in the chat, of course, the gentleman. Alright, Indruis pushing up. This is kind of risky, especially against lizards. Like, rally your units out and then just burrow home. Yeah, the lizards will be able to clean this up very easily. Oh, but the reinforcements from Indruis are on the way. Actually starting to take a little bit of a lead in that engagement, I think. So you're walking into one of the gentleman's crazy tournaments, Ghost, and for the second stage, the rule is 9 units in the deck and no toads allowed. As we switch stages, I'll kind of go over the rules of the match briefly. All right, the kid feeling a little bit pressured here. Gonna get turret up. Actually taking I love this too. This is really, really smart. When you have a secret base or a ninja base, as the scene has coined it, having this like distraction mill is nice, because it's easy to come in here as a player and be like, okay, there's their second base. Oh, they haven't put farms on it yet. Oh, what are they doing? Do they have a tier 2? They have a tier 3. But Indruis will not be fooled so easily. He assumes the kid has a ninja base somewhere. He finds it. He's gonna be able to hit these pigs. One of them goes down before it's built. Oh, but at the same time, a counterattack from the kid. It is gonna get even more value out of this. Ooh, what do you do as Indruis? Do you just go for the base race? That seems to be the play, but there's defenses at home. There's not a lot of lizards in this comp. The reinforcing squirrels from Kid are here to defend. Oh, this is devastating. Now, Indruis did knock out the second base from the Kid, but he still has a distraction base where he can continue to easily build farms. The difference here is Indruis actually didn't lose the gristmill. It is really low HP. However, Indruis had more mills, or I'm sorry, more farms on that second base. And I like the Squizzard split from the Kid a little bit better. You know, very lizard heavy with a couple squirrels. I think is a better way to go about it than very squirrel heavy with a couple lizards. If you are gonna do the couple lizards route, I think it's better to still even go up to like 6 or 9. and use the lizards as a flank attacker, as a counter attacker kind of unit, where it's like, okay, if I lose 6 units or 6 lizards trying to dive in here, kill a warren or a pig or something, it's not the end of the world. Wow, we've stabilized on full second base saturation. When everything is said and done, it's actually pretty even here. Nice pickoff from the kid. The kid is very sharp at just pushing in and grabbing those pigs every now and then. And that definitely adds up over time. I'm trying to look. Oh, the wolf coming out of the kid. Interesting choice. I wonder if he's gonna leverage the wolf to just macro even harder with the extra production on the second base. Yeah, owl on the way now. So the kid is actually going to show us a little bit of late game here. Injurious working on that third base. Needs to get the tier 3 of their choice up and running, though. Hasn't committed to any of them just yet. It's always nice in this phase of the game to like sell off a tier 1 warren or 2 to try to get that tier 3, you know. Double tier 3 on the way for the kid. The wolf is bought and paid for. The owl is soon to follow. Still no deep scout. The turrets, by the way, we saw the kid do this in the game where he built the badger. Look at this, picking off the cam warren. Very, very annoying here. Gonna get a lot of value with these lizards and just run the hell out of there. But the kid has actually done pretty good when he has gone for the tier 3 at like protecting the scout, protecting his base from being scouted with turrets. Now this army comp from Indruis is a better like mid-game army comp for sure. However, the kid is just scooting right by the mid-game and trying to get into the late game here with the tier 3. Got that wolf, buffing up the farms. And yeah, here are those like tier 1 cells into the big tier 3 boom. It always surprises me like how much tier 3 you actually can afford on 2 bases. I mean, this hasn't been a stagnant game either. The players have been trading. You're not insanely, but pretty often, right? There's been a lot of engagements, a lot of back and forth. Good owl harass here. And Indruis now realizes that he's being outscaled. Already did start that owl. Now the comp from the kid isn't super scary just yet, but it'll get there. He's gonna start stacking the owl. He's gonna add in the badger. The one thing that Indruis has going for him is a very booming economy at the moment, though. And you are just not gonna attack into that. A little bit of an overcommitment to defense, I feel like. I mean, that's really where, you know, all this defense could have been third base farms. And the kid does have the more powerful army at the moment, it feels like. Alright, the kid is pushing in. Look at this comp. Wolf, badger, owl, squizzard. Just gonna soften up the enemy with some ice and take it back. So, the kid might be playing this too passively. I think the kid has the power at the moment to just push in and win. But maybe they don't realize that. If they give Indruis too much time, I mean, Indruis has been on a better economy for a good few minutes here. It just does not have the power level in the army comp at the moment. Both times we've seen the badger from the kid, by the way, without pigeons. Maybe it's one of those situations where the kid is like, I didn't think we would actually get here. And I like this, you know, the kid just making sure they do this right. You know, not in any rush. Kind of getting the stranglehold, but this should be checkmate. I mean, the real story of this game was that the kid was able to sneak out so many tier 3, and Druis never realized they were coming. And his army is just not as strong. However, even after all that damage, and Druis with the better economy here, I don't think they'll be able to sustain another round of this punishment, though. It'd be nice for the hype. Like, what if Indurus brings it all back? I mean, the kid is heavily invested in defense. His economy is far behind. But what do you even need at this point as Indurus? I mean, I think you need Falcon's Wolf. I think you gotta... I think Indurus needs to get rid of basically most of the tier 1, get double Skunk, and a couple Pigeons to deal with the Owls, and then Falcons. And try to DPS down the Badgers with the Falcons. I think that's the move. Oh, but Indurus is gonna try to come in for a backstab. And the kid really shouldn't base race. This is really smart from Indurus. He's trying to bait the kid into base racing here, but the kid did not fall for it. He thought about it. I saw his army moving out right here. Okay, I give that move to Indurus. I don't think he should have dived all the way in, because I think at this point Indurus knew he couldn't fight that army. But I think coming in here and like and offering the base race, it's like in chess when you put your queen in a spot, you know, where the opponent can trade queens basically. It's like, do you want to do it? And the kid thought about it, but didn't take the bait. I like that a lot from Indurus. I think that was a very smart way to try to win this game. Didn't quite work out, but that's the way she goes, bud. And the kid should be just kind of slamming through at this point. Oh, maybe. A couple Falcons in the air. Yeah, no economy left for Indurus. And I think Indurus could have handled this game. It was really just a case of not being able to get in there and scout. And the kid did, you know, did build some turrets to make that scouting harder, but at the same time, some of those warrens were a little bit exposed, and that's just kind of a new player issue, and something, you know, even mid-range players like myself will struggle with from time to time. Like, you really just gotta be scouting, like, constantly, man. I think if Indurus got the scout and realized the big tier 3 tech switch was going on, could have followed suit. Okay, so the kid kicking ass. We went 4-1. Took 2 lives from Cactus, 2 lives from Indruid. Lost to Leon though. Oh, we've got James coming up in stage number 3. Okay, yeah, so check out this website. Let me switch over. Bam. Alright, so we go to stages. So we take a look at, oh wait. I'm sorry, James is the challenger. What was I thinking? Yeah. For some reason in my head, I parsed that as him being the boss. Rattan is the boss. I was curious if Rattan was still active, so he's still kicking it in the 2021 duels. Let's see what the special rules here are. The challenger chooses which one of the 2 possible decks will be used. If there is a second game, the other deck will be used. And it's mandatory mirror matchup. Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is kinda... Oh no, it's not like the Tosh round. It's a little bit similar, but different. Similar but different. Separate but equal. Okay. And if we go to... How did I do this before? There we go. So then I can just look. Here's the Rattan match. James has 2 lives. Look at that. Alright, beautiful. So let me set my scoreboard up. Okay, so it's got to be a mirror match with one of those 3 or 4 unit decks. If I can find the kid. So that'll be Rattan. versus old James Aroni. Cashed with me last week. We saw that crazy match. Who was it? Necromantisser versus Big Pimpintosh. That was one of the best matches I think I've ever seen. I might have to like clip that and upload it separately. I do need to update my YouTube. I got everything exported. I just need to make some thumbnails, so maybe today or tomorrow I'll get that done. Yeah, I want to clip that. I think it was Necromantisser, wasn't it? I have a horrible memory for that kind of stuff. Or no, it was Night Slayer. That's who it was. Yeah, Night Slayer versus Tosh on the last stream. Holy crap, man. That was such a great game. If you missed that one, I highly recommend taking a look at episode 5. I highlighted the VOD. You should be able to find it. And just scroll ahead to Night Slayer vs. Tosh. That was so much fun. But anyways, let's get into the next game here. Okay, spawning on the bottom right, we've got James. The opponent at the top left for Todd. I love this already. Look at this. Mole, cam, wire. That's it. What's the point of the wire? Like, moles and cams both wreck the wire. I'm not sure how effectively, though. Maybe for 10 bucks you're still getting in, like, some damage? I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Satiki in the chat saying, do moles even get value versus wire in terms of raw food? You might be right with that. I mean, maybe it feels like they should, but they don't, you know? Because when you look at that, you parse it in your head like, oh, well, the moles can hit the wire, so, you know, it's fine. But maybe the wire just ends up dealing enough damage to them in the process where it's still effective. Okay, first mole. Mole patrol. Not gonna get anything done. Gonna smack the commander. That's something. James is like, alright, now what? Getting the extra moles coming in. 2 moles is not gonna kill a pig. Gonna have to retreat. And Rattan getting into the cams. See, I picture this would be more like a cam fight. This actually has a lot of potential for backstabs, right? You know, like attack the natural with the moles right there, meanwhile the cams come in from the side, that kind of thing. Gonna be really fun to see. But I think the name of this matchup is cams, right? Like once you get up to 6 or 8 cams or something. I don't think the half moles, half cam would really be able to compete with that. But James says 9 moles, love to see it. It's been a long time since we've seen moles in this number. Oh, now these moles are kind of tanking for this single chameleon. And look at that, a bunch of moles and 1 cam beat two cams and less moles. And James even kept his cam alive, where Rattan lost both the cams there. It's a really good trade, actually, for James. Yeah, look at that army differential. That had a lot to do with the way that the engagement started, though. Like, James's units were in a good position where the moles were just tanking the hits for the cams. Moles have like a ton of HP too, don't they? What's up, Lego Man? Alright, James, starting to push up to a higher mole count here. This is fun. I like these these various stage rules. This is like a Tooth and Tail laboratory. Dang, James. James taking some really good engagements. Oh, if you can keep all these cams alive and get out there, sell them more and forget about it, get your money back. Go home, heal the cams. Not too much of a wuss. No, James is like, screw that, buddy. I'm just gonna kill this second base and then get the hell out of here. I still think he shouldn't have committed that mole ward, though. Loses a little bit of food for it, but not much. And I don't know, man. I think this might be it for Rattan. How does he get back into this game? He lost the second base. That was kind of his avenue to keep up. Losing these cams here, yeah, is this going to be a tap? I mean, Rattan could try to do something sneaky to get back into this. But I don't think James is going to give him that option. James is doing the right... James should just go YOLO mill. I mean, yeah, you let Rattan be sneaky with a couple cams, but... I think James just had enough to just target down the mill. Ooh, he needs to get the stealth reveal. Stop moving for a second. Oh, man. He should kind of know where these cams are, based on the movement of the commander. Rattan is going to bob and weave. Oh, this is smart. Just commit the moles to the attack. Bring the cams back. The moles will knock down this mill, no problem. What a strange match. I think James could just rinse and repeat, right? Like, just go bring the moles to the other base. I think James is overreacting to this harassment by Rattan a little bit. I think he's respecting it too much. And that is gonna be the kill. Interesting match there. James knocking out Rattan, keeping his 2 lives. He definitely needed that win. Oh, we've got Rush coming in. Let me check real quick. Pigeon Rush also has 2 lives left. Let's update that. Perfect. I was kind of excited to see how the other deck played out. Maybe we'll get to see it here. And sure enough, we do. Oh my gosh, look at this deck. Over on the right-hand side, we've got Rattan. Over on the top left, we've got Rush. Or I guess top center. Lizard Snake. I mean, this is pretty much a meta deck already. Wolf buff snakes. That is just debauchery. Nobody liked that. 5 far more in here from Rush. Living up to the name. Have they scouted Rattan's position yet? Not quite. So I wonder how this is going to play out. The snakes are kind of interesting to me here. Because again, I feel like this is that D&D analogy again, right? Where the gentleman is the DM. He's like, okay, you get to use these units, and then they're just gonna spam lizards, right? Like, is that what's gonna happen? That's my try-hard prediction. Like, that's not what I want to happen, but I think that's the most logical thing that would happen is the lizard spam. Now, imagine one boy tries to build a ton of turrets and macro up. Ooh, Rattan coming in here with a couple extra lizards. Is this just it? Is this game? Let's see, Rattan could just throw down another Warren. Keep the pressure on, gonna take the farm. He just move back in with the lizards he's got. I mean, killing 2 Warrens this early on. I apologize because I didn't look at the nuance of what was happening. I saw Russian built an early Warren, but maybe he sold. I think he must have sold off the Warren to get up on the pigs. Oh my gosh, even getting that Warren, 2 pigs as well. The next attack from Rattan might be too much, but Rush actually is rebuilding lizards here. Oh man. So Rush will stabilize. But has he taken too much damage already is the question. So this is how I see this kind of playing out. You know, as we're watching these lizards slaughter one another. Oh, Rattan is going to come in here for the win. I think that's just too much damage. Yeah, now he's going to be able to kill these Warrens. He's got enough extra lizards. No, just keep attacking. I think he should have gone after that last Warren, but getting some bacon's not bad either. So yeah, maybe the snakes start becoming relevant when the turrets hit the board, when the whoops hit the board. Because generally I don't think you want snakes against a lot of tier 1, right? Pigeon Rush really trying to hang on. But down to 2 farms, no Warrens. We'll have to tap here. Oh, they're gonna fight to the bitter end. Tip of the hat. That is an actual game kill here, not a surrender. Rattan, showing he's a big tough boss too. Rush down to 1 life. Let's see if Rush can pull it back. So we're gonna go back to the mole cam style game here. Alright, alright. Spawning in the bottom, we've got Rush, and the opponent up top, Rattan. Now look at this map for these decks, man. This map is so huge. Alright, Rush has got the advantage, I feel like. Well, this is an awkward third base. Actually, looking at it. Actually, the ramping is horrendous here for Rush, but that's fine. I mean, you know, 3 bases nice and tight. Can't really complain about it. Yeah, but where do you, like, keep your units? This could be really interesting. Rattan has only got a 2nd base. I mean, this 3rd base out here, they can probably take. Lots of campfires all around the map, by the way. We don't typically see the campfires come into play, but I feel like they're a little bit underutilized nowadays. I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record for viewers that have been watching for a long time, but we had a meta a while ago where campfires were very relevant, where 1 base pushes were really powerful. And I think that makes a lot of sense, because if you're doing a 1 base push, the campfire is a nice little add to your economy. It only costs $60 rather than $120 from taking an expansion and a farm. So it makes sense in that regard. But typically the meta nowadays is really fast 2nd bases. Everyone just kind of gets that 2nd base economy going. And from there, it diverges, you know. Some games, you only have a couple farms on the 2nd base. Other games, full 8-farm saturation right off the get-go. In those situations, the campfires are less relevant, but, I mean, when you got 4 of them all around the map, I mean, that's half an expansion. Okay. Rattan getting a nice eco lead here. Rush will scout it though. Be able to come home. Grab some extra farms. Try to stay around that same point. Yeah, if you're a new player watching this, just kind of looking for tips or how to play the game, you generally want to be scouting all the time. And when it comes to second base farm counts, you want to try to stay a little bit ahead of your opponent. You don't want to get too far ahead of the opponent in a lot of cases, because then you leave yourself exposed to a rush, but sometimes, like, on a map this big and wonky, you actually can, right? Because by the time they get to you, you've got plenty of units. These moles moving out and about here. Oh my god, Rattan, let's go! Yes! Oh, don't you sell those warrants, Rattan. Give me a show. Oh, I'm so hyped. Oh my god, let's go, buddy. He's got 16 farms. Roar! No, you just click down the mill. I'm not sure, I'm not a experienced enough mole rusher. Oh, the cam is so close! Oh my god, that cam lives! Oh, dude, it lives. The rush was highly ineffective. But it was awesome to watch. And this is where that wire comes into play. You know, that wire really helped Rush defend here. Oh, he's losing a lot of money from that wire right now, though. Every crit that you just saw on the screen was 10 food gone, and Rattan's gonna have to pack it up and go home now. The problem is, you got 4 cams here from Rush, no cams from Rattan. It needs to go home, desperately start trying to build some cams. Kind of sacrifice the space, because Rush should be counterattacking. Yeah, so you sack this base, you buy some time. I don't know if he's gonna have enough time, though. Look at all these units coming out. It's crazy seeing huge economies, and then all you can build is mole camp. Rattan needed to spam down some wire too, I think. If you could just make it. Can you have some Metal Gear moles come through and like hit the main? How many moles do you need to just like click down a mill? Like 12? Is 12 a reasonable number? Third base from Rush. Rush actually takes this base, which I kind of envisioned as Rattan's third. Meanwhile, Rattan is doing the same thing over in the southeast. Man, what a weird day for casting. Like, the one macro game we get is this weird deck restriction of mole cam only. I want to see some flanks, man. I think these comps here are just asking for some cool flank attacks. Rush is gonna clean this up. Rattan needs to get out of here. Ooh, gentlemen say you can get away with even less, like 9? 9 moles when they have full 8 pigs on it? Well, I think the agreement is 12 would get the job done. Maybe you could do it more effectively with like 9 or something. Yeah, gentlemen saying 9 can do it. I will definitely believe him. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the feast, guys. Maybe I'll do Tooth and Tail Tuesdays or something. That'd be really fun. Cast some games, play some matches. I just don't think Friday nights are good for me anymore. I think that's the problem. Maybe I'll start doing Tuesday. Tuesday at 6. We can cast the replays, and then afterwards maybe play some matches with some viewers or something. I think that sounds like a good schedule adjustment. I like doing events on Sunday. Sunday's great for me to do events on. It seems like we get good viewership on Sundays. Like, I have been staying active, like covering events and stuff, but I definitely have been slacking on my feasting. I have too many hobbies, man. That's another problem too. It kind of stresses me out because I'm like committed to so many different things. And then I remember how like thankful I am. You know what I mean? Like it feels like such a first world problem. Like, oh, I have too many fun hobbies that I enjoy doing. And then you got like that parent with like 3 kids who never gets time for anything. They're like, oh, that's nice, you know. So I try to keep it in perspective that way. Yeah, like my band is playing music again because I'm moving soon. I raid in World of Warcraft. I've kind of just been raid logging lately though. I should be doing more. That game's really fun. It just takes so much time. Opera Fish Guy, thumbs up in the Sunday streams. I thought about maybe moving the feast to Sundays, but I like having the Sundays open to do events for 2 reasons. Like, it just seems like a good time to cast. I generally keep Sunday as like my off day, you know, so I normally don't have plans. Like, I have D&D later today, but I mean, that's a fun thing to do, and that's why I got started at like 11, because I got that at 2. So I'll basically be wrapping this up. We're actually playing an... Oh, hold that thought. We've got an engagement coming in. That is so many cams from Rush. 30 chameleons. What am I watching here? Oh my gosh. Rush. Gonna move on with 1 life left. Nicely done. That's a weird game. Classic or retail? Oh, you don't want to get me started on WoW, man. So I played WoW when I was a teenager. I'm 31 years old, right? So when WoW came out in like 2005, I was 16. And I played vanilla. And then when Burning Crusade came out, I was like 19. I was moved out of my own apartment. I was working full time. I was going to college, so I just like quit WoW. Because I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna study calculus if I'm trying to kill the Lich King, you know. So I quit WoW when Wrath came out, and then didn't really play since. I got into it again once or twice over the years, but then when Classic came out, I got sucked into that. I played Classic super hard with, I was a troll resto shaman in a sweaty raiding guild, and we were like parsing and trying hard and all that kind of crap. And we killed Cthulhu, and then the guild kind of fell apart because of drama, as they tend to do. Yeah, I didn't get into Nax. I played, as I'm kind of talking about this, I can set up the next match, which will be Lego Man. I actually, after my guild fell apart, I went in Lego Man vs. Tosh. Ooh, this is going to be good. I hopped in my buddy's guild and like ran a little bit of Nax. So I killed up to the Abomination guy. I don't know. We killed like the first few bosses in Nax, and I was just helping them like fill in as a healer. But I was kind of over the game at that point. And then my guild, the rest of them they all played retail. So I joined them on Alliance on retail. So I play Lightforged Draenei Paladin, Ret Paladin. So I was Horde back in the day. I played an Undead Rogue, and I listened to like Cradle of Filth, and I ganked people because I was an edgelord. Like, that's all I did, man, when I was like 16. I didn't raid. I didn't do any of that. Like, I just listened to like black metal, like Dimmu Borgir and Cradle of Filth and Emperor, that kind of stuff on my Undead Rogue, and I would just like gank people. That's all I did, man. I was that guy. I'd like hang around at like the level 30 zones and just annihilate people trying to level up. It was really wrong. It's not cool. It's not okay. That's what I used to do, man. Yeah, now I play Alliance. I'm in a raiding guild. We are about to kill Sire Denathrius on Heroic. That's where we're at. We're at 9 out of 10. on Heroic. I'm also... I dabble in Arena, like... I was actually pretty dang good in 2v2 Arena. I hit like 1750 elo. I could probably keep pumping up higher if I played more often, but I have like such ADHD with games, man. I'll get super sucked into something for like a few days and then get sucked into something else. But anyways, enough talking about World of Warcraft. Okay, on this map, it is map size large, deck random between... Okay, so the size is random, and the mandatory mirror is random as well. So basically, they're gonna like roll a number between 1 and 9. And Lego Man has 2 lives. Change that. Plus 5. Alright, so this is how this one's gonna work. So they got huge maps. They're gonna do like an RNG 1 through 9, roll a D9, pick deck size, and then like one of them hits the random button, and then they both take that deck. So last time we had a really entertaining match with Night Slayer and Tosh, and I'm curious how this one's gonna go. So on the right, we got Big Pimpatosh. Look at these decks. These actually look like proper decks. And over on the left, Lego Man. I mean, they're a little clunky, you know. But this seems reasonable. Like, if I saw someone taking this, you know, subtract, like, the Artie or the Mole. I mean, it's not perfectly ideal, but these seem okay. Oh, Lego Man. Yeah, Lego Man without his trusty snakes. Ooh, man. Get wrecked, Tosh. Own. That was leet. Oh, what are some other boomer memes? Pwnage. I remember the day it wasn't cool to say pwned anymore. It's a sad day. It was a cool autumn morning in the fall of 2011. Leroy! Oh, man. Oh, I didn't even pay attention to what happened there. I'm the worst caster. Tosh just Mole Rush too, right? Did he get any damage in? I was too distracted by the Leroy. Tosh didn't do damage. Thank you, gentlemen. Alright, so this is looking good for Lego Man. I kind of zoned out for a second trying to think of other boomer memes. A lot of the old school boomer memes were like the images. I forget, there's actually a name of them, but like the original troll face, you know? And like all those little variants. Those like poorly drawn. Like what about the stick figure guy? Where they'd say le a lot. Like me with le girlfriend. And then you like drop a lollipop or something and then it's like food. Lego Man trying to end this. Tosh trying to get into some cams, but Lego Man with the double mole here on the aggression. Don't get baited by that mill. No. No. Ignore that mill. Kill the piggies. Alright, 1 piggy going down. 2 pigs. Should definitely go down. I love the mole on the front here to tank. Ooh, gonna go for the 3rd. Should get it. And alright, run home, right? Am I crazy? No. Alright, Lego Man's a really good player. So I'm trying to make sure how I think of the game. Or the actions that Lego Man takes. Doesn't run all the way home. Okay, now he does. That was actually kind of smart. Because I think he was trying to bait Tosh into thinking he ran home. Right? And then Tosh would, you know, not invest in the tools he needed to hold another wave. And then another wave comes in. I think the only boomer meme that's still relevant is Rick Astley, right? that's still a fun thing to do. I don't think that'll ever get old, man. Send somebody a link. Oh man, yeah, come here and I'll give you 20 bucks. Then you click on it and it's Rick Astley. Classic. The old Rick roll. Good moles again from Lego Man here. Ugh, almost gets that pig. Alright, the fox on the way. Fox coming out of the box. Tasha needs to scout this. Smart positioning, too, in a really inconspicuous spot. Tosh checking an inconspicuous spot down here. Very nice. So, good scout from Tosh. Just didn't quite find the right weird spot for the Tier 3 Warren. See, this is like almost like a regular game of Tooth and Tail. I mean, it's great because Lego Man and Tosh are both really great players. But I was kind of hoping for some nonsense. Ooh, welcome to the Artie party. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the fox here as well. Time for that poking and prodding. Now, Tosh never did see the fox, but got the balloon up. Kind of a nice time to get a balloon. Ooh, the cam trap. Only 2 cams, though, will not immediately delete the fox. You need 4 to do that. Ooh, that was actually huge for Tosh. Lego Man trying to put that artillery cannon there and it just blowing up immediately. It's just 180 bucks down the drain. Baiting in the engagement with that Artie, that was really smart. He wants to avoid fighting under that balloon as much as possible, so he's trying to force Tosh to come back over here. I don't think he needs that Artie as forward. I think he'd be fine to place the Artie kind of near that north farm right there. You know, that way to attack the artillery, you're going to be under fire of the previous one. Oh my god, losing another Artie. Logo Man is really bleeding out resources. This is a high-risk, high-reward play, though, because if Lego Man can get this forward artillery set up, that's basically checkmate. But will Lego Man even need it? He's busting through here. And I think Tosh is going to have to tap. That is going to be it. Lego Man. Slamming down. Sniper tower vision. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Maybe Lego wasn't thinking about that. That extra vision from the balloon. So every time you tried to put that up on the high ground there, it was just immediately seen by Tosh. I'm surprised the Lego Man busted through there after losing that much food with trying to put up those artillery. Okay, same deal. We got R22 versus Tosh this time around. Let me take a quick check on how many lives he's got. He's got 2 lives. All right. All right. Okay, let's see some crazy decks here. Okay, spawning on the right, we've got Tosh. And on the bottom left, R22. Alright, not crazy. Again, this looks not like a super optimal deck, but it looks like a doable deck. Actually, you know, I mean, the Toads do really good AoE. The Snakes, of course, one of the strongest, most versatile units, do great single target. Great harassing and poking. I think the only thing that doesn't really make sense here is the wolf, right? I'd like to see maybe like Falcon? Like if you had Lizard, Toad, Snake, Falcon, Owl, Mine, right? I mean, obviously these decks are random. So yeah, I think if they had the Falcon over the Wolf, that would be like a pretty solid standard deck. So this is boss number 5 here. I'm just gonna have to give this game a little bit of time to brew. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'm thinking Tuesday nights. I'm thinking I'm gonna move the feast to Tuesday nights. I think that'll be fun. Have Tooth and Tail Tuesdays. Triple T, TTT. Maybe I'll just play some matches, cast some matches, something like that. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna start doing. So, macro game so far. Both players trying to get a little bit of mines. Love this choice of first expansion here for Tosh. You know, you take this base now, it's easier to get this base later. And this is even a better position tactically. You know, your opponent's got to come through this choke here in between the ramping, where you can place a bunch of mines. R22 knows about the mines. And yeah, just needs a little bit of time to stew here. Both players trying to macro up, but also getting a decent tier 1 army. These are kind of fun situations where neither player really wants to commit, you know, take the loss. And the reason is because at this point, you know, everything's pretty even, and defender advantage makes you a little bit of a disadvantage to attack in. And there we go, Tosh spicing up the life. People of the world, every boy and every girl. We got an owl on the way. Oh, but R22 just kind of realized it's owl time without scouting. Tosh does see the owl. Yeah, R22 has not seen the opponent's owl. So this is a macro game, ladies and gentlemen. Both players went for 2 base half saturation to start tier 3. That is one of the choices. You can go full second base sat, second base into third base, second base half sat into a tier 3. I like the second base half sat into a tier 3 better with like a fox or a boar or something like that, but it's never bad to get that owl count started. So the toads are quickly going to become irrelevant in this match when the owls hit the field. Really all the tier 1. Like, both players are going to need to start transitioning into just snake owl, essentially. Unless you want to keep like 6 or 9 lizards to try to be sneaky and run around, do flank attacks and that sort of thing. Curious what that decision is going to be. Do they keep a little bit of tier 1? The problem with Lizard and Toad, once the owl count starts getting high, is they are just going to get slaughtered by the mice. But you might want to consider keeping a few lizards so you can harass and poke and prod. And on the flip side of that, you might consider keeping a couple toads at home to swat away that lizard harassment. But so far we haven't really seen any sell down from the tier 1. Both players getting up to 3 bases, so this is the macro game we were looking for here. No snakes on the way just yet. And these mines are also rendered pretty ineffective. Jeez. Oh my god. So many explosions. Starting to get some territory here, pushing R22 all the way back to his front lines of his main base. But backs out for now. Actually committing to more Tier 1. And as gentleman pointing out in the chat, you know, it does make sense to have that Tier 1 at this phase. Because it is nice to have that once the mice kind of claw each other down, to have those leftover units. Oh, and here come the mice. 3 owls versus 2 at the moment. That's a lot of toads. R22 has not blown up their toads yet. They're looking for the lizards, and then they bring them in. That was great play from R22. Wow, good job there with the micro. Really patient. Dude, that toad explosion was massive. R22 doesn't know about third base. Tosh finds third base right now. Yeah, I love it. I think you pull the lizards back. Let the mice clash. Like, ideally, you want to use the mice first. That time around, the control was not as good for R22. The lizards ran up pretty far forward. Same with the toads. 6 owls bumping out here for R22. And owls are just, I mean, this is random decks, but owls quite strong units at the moment, particularly because the answers to owl, badger, and boar get dealt with so effectively by snakes. And snakes are in a position in the current meta where it's like, you don't need to, you can just take snakes. They're like one of the best units, you know. You don't need to take the snake specifically to deal with the badger or the boar. They're just awesome to have in your deck. So Tosh, first person with the wolf here, R22 committing more and more to the owls. And at this point, I'm a little bit surprised there's still so much Tier 1. I can understand a little bit, but, I mean, that's so many mice. But then again, it's like, what else are you going to build? I mean, snakes. Alright. Tosh actually has a good opportunity to move in, since R22 spent their mice, and it was like the mice fighting the entire army from Tosh. So Tosh gets a little bit down here, and he's going to have to run home. So with the wolf, the owl, does the owl get extra mice? Because it increases the spawn rate of the mice? Is that how that interaction works? Alright, Tosh, moving in here. This might just be too much damage. Let's see if R22 can make something happen. He's still got 6 mice in the air, but no, or 6 owls in the air, but no supporting units. And that is going to be a tap from R22. Tosh taking the first match there. Which means we are going into a second match here between Tosh and R22. And then we're going to get into Night Slayer versus Meek. Alright, so 1 life left for R22. We got random decks, though. Maybe we'll get something crazy this time around. Let's see how it pans out. Come on, weirdness. Oh, yeah! That is what I'm talking about. In the top right, R22, the challenger. And in the bottom left, Big Pimpintosh. Alright, boys. This is what I've been wanting. I've been casting these Tosh games, and they've just been looking like replay submissions from the ladder matches or something, right? With these regular decks. Nobody wants to see regular decks. Okay, when it's random size, random units. Toad Woof. What's the move? Do you go for the quick woof to buff up a huge economy? Do you buff your toads so they move even faster? We mapped this out before. I think it was 11 toads, right? Was it 11 toads killed a mill? So I remember the match. It was Alto versus Zen. And I think we saw 12 toads hit a mill and 1 lived. Wow, both players proxy mill in each other's faces. Okay, Toad Woof. I think it's 11. So if you have 12 toads, you're good. And that's to kill a mill with pigs around it. But maybe it's even less than that. If memory serves, I think one of the toads like hit a pig or something and didn't hit the mill. Oh, I have big hopes for this game. One more and going down. See, this is weird, because I think Tosh should have taken that trade, right? 2 toads for 3. This is going to get funky, because you're going to want to take the trades where your less amount of toads forces the opponent to blow up a larger amount of toads. But since in Tooth and Tail, you can't really split units or do any kind of crazy control like that, you know? You can just rally the toads around. Oh, that was good on Tosh to only blow up 1 toad on that Warren. Look at that cell. That cell was inefficient, Todd. Todd. You got 6 food back rather than the 20 bucks minus for the enemy. Oh man, R22's get a lot of toads here. Toad Magode. Good trade for Tosh. Nice, man. Awkward fish guy getting the PvP adrenaline. Leveling on classic WoW and watching some Tooth and Tail sounds like a good Sunday, my dude. Oh, that's a good trade for Tosh. This is very aggressive. Like, do you try to just sit back and get up the max, you know, a good amount of toads? Are we gonna see anything but toads? Will the wolf come out into play? Do you use the wolf to tank toad shots and keep your toads alive? Oh, ooh. 1 toad killing like 4 or 5 in a row right there. Oh, this is so inefficient. But just gotta be done. It's the name of the game. Toads Magodes. Yeah, spreading out your Warrens. Somebody said that in the chat. Lose for the loser. Yeah, I like that idea. For 2 reasons. For 1, like, you can't get busted on so easy. But for 2, it might stagger the way your toads rally together. And you can find yourself in positions where you're trading smaller amount of toads for larger. Alright, 9 toads. No, they're not all gonna make it, though. Good interceptions. This is just a vulgar loss of life here. These poor toads. Who's making all the firecrackers? Who makes the firecrackers? The moles? They are the engineers. Alright, 12 toads for Tosh. That's enough to be dangerous. That's enough to kill a mill. One toad at a time coming in. Actually good control there from R22. Try not to overuse the toads, but 12 toads from Tosh coming in. He's got 3 toads. Oh my god. No, Tosh is like, no, damn it. Both those warheads are so low. Look at this army graph. Holy guacamole. R22 trading 3 toads there for 12. Tosh just really wanted to get those warrens. This is gonna get scrappy really fast. Oh! What are you doing, Tosh? You don't have moles. Oh, I think he was like rallying the toads in one at a time, which is actually really smart. Because again, I think the name of this game is trying to get like 1 or 2 of your toads to blow up the toad pack of the enemy. So it's weird, like Tosh doesn't really want to engage the 5 toads versus the 9, you know? Come in here. Get it big. Back up. Like, this is a bad engagement for Tosh. This is like the only situation where when you have more units, it's a bad thing. Like, this is really deadly, this one, Hero Toad. Ooh, get some good hits. This game's gonna be over soon. Like, they're gonna run out of steam. They're only on a few farms. Can we just play Tooth and Tail like this from now on? Just toads? It's like, oops, all berries. Captain Crunch. Oops, all toads. It's the dumbest thing. If I knew how to make memes, I would totally make that meme. Like a cereal box, and it's like, oops, all toads. Okay. This is very serious. Tournament match. R22 is on 1 life. Poor guy. This is it, man. His tournament life is on the line in the Oops All Toads match. And he's been playing really well. Okay, this is good for R22. He needs a block. He needs to get in there and trade. Okay, he does, but a couple toads left over. Not going to be enough to kill the Warrens again. But Tosh just needs one more hit, and he knows that he's coming in. He's going to get it. Tosh actually has a ton of Warrens at the moment. R22's got the better economy. Ooh. Oh, this is dicey. R22 just needs to get a couple toads. I actually like R22's position a lot better. I don't even agree with that 3rd Warren. I think he should stick to 2 and get up to full 8 farms. Oh, but Tosh selling it all to get the economy going again. Ooh, good hit there. Trading a toad for a pig. Okay. Are we stabilizing? What if this is like a 30-minute match? Like, now that I'm thinking about it, how do you actually win this? I mean, obviously you win by ramming toads into your opponent's mill, but if you try to move in with 12 toads and they just have toads there, I really think you need, like, spread out Warrens. Like, imagine if R22 had a Warren from over here, and then when he rallies the army, he's got that, like, single toad coming in the side, right? And then you try to get that to, like, hit Tasha's toads? Does that make sense? Or is that a little bit too pie in the sky? Here's your macro game. We had a macro game, it was an owl game. Oh, oh. Like, this was almost over. And then they stabilized. Are we gonna see a wolf? How would you use the wolf? Oh, man! Hang on. Is it wolf buffs 6 units or 8 units? I should know that. I've only been casting this game for 4 years. Somewhere around there, right? Is it 8? Because can't a wolf buff a whole... It's 6. Okay, yeah, I thought it was 6. So what if you buff up 6 toads? Oh my god! That's the way you win this, right? You get the wolf, you buff up a couple toads, and then those toads run ahead, right? And then blow up the enemy's toads. And then you have your main unbuffed pack of toads left. Yeah, the advantage would be to split your toads, exactly. And you want to split, and you want to have that smaller split too. You would want to run 6 buff toads into like 14 of your opponent. And if they try to ignore those buff toads, then you run them in and you hit a mill. That's how you win this game. Oh, I like this from Tosh. Build some warrens up here, maybe? Okay, I do not have all day. I gotta leave in like half an hour. I mean, we'll finish the matches. But I've got like D&D right after this, and I gotta get ready. So if this is gonna take a million years, I might have to fast forward a little bit. This is so funny though. Oh, those 2 toads? Do you need 2 toads to kill the enemy toad pack? I think so. Right as gentleman says it. No one dares hit the cabin, somebody hits cabin. That is what we call in the business the caster curse. Ooh. Yeah, I think you just kind of got to find unique ways to split your army. Like, the army actually split around that tree a little bit. This is just gonna stalemate. I wish I had a unit loss count. Need to get eel. Need to get eel on the horn. Give me a unit loss tab, man. Oh. Alright, that was pretty good. There's a lot of farms down there. Latosh does have the ninja base up in the top left. So that really just evens things out. And R22 is not aware of that ninja base. Oh no, he is. He knows about it. Yeah, you could split around obstacles. You could kind of split by having like warrens spread out, or you could split with the wolf. I'm pretty surprised we haven't seen anyone commit to the wolf, because I think if I'm R22, I'd rather like sell off a few of these toads. Like 15 seems like enough, right? And if your opponent commits to more than that, then you have the advantage. Really surprised we haven't seen the wolf. The wolf could do a lot here. Could help you split, could tank some hits. Oh, R22 is going for the expansion of Tosh. Is Tosh gonna commit to a counterattack himself? He's not sure if he has enough toads. He's got 10 toads here. Oh, that... Okay, bam. 10 toads did it. Both players are starving. Starving Marvin's here. 10 toads can kill a mill. Oh, this is good for our 22. He's a little spread. Can we just do a tournament with these settings of this stage? These have been the most fun matches. This one and then that match with Night Slayer. It was like Toads and Fox and Turret. Something like that. Like, this is actually a really good... I love the gentleman because he's always really creative and thinking about different ways to slice up Tooth and Tail and come up with interesting formats. But I think he really nailed it with this one. Like, this makes for some really cool games. And the format, if you're tuning in late or not super familiar with the tournament, it's so random. So alright, you pick a random number between 1 and 9, and that dictates the size of the deck. And then one of the players hits the random button, and then both players have to play that deck. Tosh is starving out. He doesn't have any food. He can sell a Warren. He's only got this one Warren. If R22 kills that Warren, that's it. Tosh is dead. Oh my gosh. Will he get in here though the Hero Toads protect? Oh, that's checkmate. Very cool game. Can you guys hear music in the microphone? My wife's in there getting ready for D&D and jamming out. Yes, says Mojina. Thank you. Shut this door. Okay, you shouldn't be able to hear it anymore, right? Okay, we're going up against Meek now, which is called the final stage, but then you go up against Melvin next, which is the extra stage, but it's not really extra. I'm not sure about that. So, yeah, let me do this. Okay, so final stage against Meek. Final boss must be beaten twice, cannot be skipped, and players cannot keep a same unit 2 games in a row. Non-Badger Tier 3 are banned. Okay. So these rules are whatever, right? But the ones that are important for this are players cannot keep the same unit 2 games in a row, and non-Badger Tier 3s are banned. And you don't get your lives back till the extra stage, right? Yeah, right, okay. So we got Night Slayer versus Meek, so 2 lives. So it's basically the first 1 to 2 wins here. And you can't use the same... Does that fit? No. Let's call it Night. Alright, so you can't use the same unit twice in a row. And the only Tier 3 you can use is the Badger. Alright. Oh, refresh? Oh, okay. Hang on. Oh yeah, it's good. Oh yeah, but you're just showing like the results moved on. Nice, yeah. That's awesome. Love this website. Okay. Let's get into it. Spawning at the bottom left, we've got Night Slayer, 907. The opponent to the right's Meek. Ooh, Meek. Oh, Meek. Ferret, Turret, Balloon. Let's go. This is a cool way to do that deck, to be honest, because, I mean, Lizard, Skunk, super solid, right? And you got the Snake to deal with late game tier 3, tier 2 heavy pushes. And then you got the Ferret Turret Balloon. So I really like the way Meek has gone about trying to do this Ferret style. Meanwhile, Nightslayer's just got a solid deck. I mean, it looks like the deck that Nightslayer likes to use, except for he's hamstringed into Badger here rather than the Boar. I think Nightslayer typically goes Boar. And the reason is the kind of deck that you see Nightslayer running has the potential to beat that like Owl Snake late game style. So if that Owl Snake kind of comp really isn't your thing, you can go basically what Nightslayer's doing, except for throwing the Boar instead of the Badger. The Badger probably works too, but Meek is cannon rushing. He's tooth and tail cannon rushing here. Is it not gonna work? Oh, it's barely gonna work. Meek needs more turrets. He should have started a second turret. No, he's just not gonna overcommit. And he's gonna go into Lizards because he knows the counterattack from Nightslayer is on the way. Should have put 2. Yeah, I was thinking 2 as well. But I think Meek just didn't want to overcommit to it. Oh, that's a dead pig. Good response here from Nightslayer, really keeping his cool. You know, this isn't a kind of thing that happens very much, like the proxy mill turret rush. But Nightslayer handled this like perfectly, you know. Didn't overreact. Came in here with the counterattack. I thought Meek was about to tap. He's already down 3 farms here. Nightslayer's just gonna keep making it worse. Good control out of Nightslayer. Yeah, Meek's already dead. This is a dead Meek. But this is a very important tournament match here. And Meek is a crazy player. Is he gonna try to come back? He's sitting there. Is that a tap? No, he's gonna stay. Yeah, it was very risky for Meek. And then he didn't hard commit. I think Meek needed to just build like 2 or 3 turrets instead of 1, you know. But that counter damage did so much work. Meek is already in basically a GG position. He's hoping Nightslayer moves his squirrels into a bad spot, but no, Nightslayer's got his squirrels in the perfect location to defend. No lucky gonna come in and kill your pigs while you're out scouting around on the map for Meek here. I do like the position these lizards are in. I don't think Nightslayer actually saw him there. And this? No, he's got cams. I was gonna say 9 squirrels versus 9 lizards. This should be good for Meek, but with the cams here, with the pigeons here, Meek can't take this engagement. Nightslayer knows the lizards are up here, shooing them away. And the comeback for Meek in this game is very, very slim. Very, very slim. Meek took a ton of damage. I know I'm breaking the caster code, right? The caster code is to always hype everything up. And I mean, maybe we can hype this up, you know? Hey, we've seen Chip from Space come back from situations like this. Why not Meek? Let's go. Nightslayer not messing around though. The cams are coming in. 1 cam is down. The second cam is down. The squirrels are pushing through, and Meek just without enough lizards here gonna have to tap out. See, I started doing the caster thing for a minute. Yeah, right, Desan. Right when I'm like, you know what? Let's hype this up. Let's make this fun. That's when they're like, no, man. I mean, he's super dead. What are you gonna do? All right. So that's 1 match for Nightslayer. Now you gotta win 2. So Nightslayer might be our first challenger to make it all the way to the extra stage. Technically, Meek is the final boss, but the extra stage is not optional. So Nightslayer's not done. He's gotta win here, but then he gets his lives back. He gets 2 lives back at least, I think. But he's still got 2 left. Spawning in the bottom, we have Meek. And the opponent to the top left, Nightslayer. Now remember, the restriction is You cannot use the same unit 2 games in a row. So last time, I know Night Slayer had Squirrel Pigeon. He had Squirrel Pigeon, Falcon, Badger, Cam. Yeah, so his deck's fine. And then Meek had the Lizard, Ferret, Skunk, Snake, Balloon, Turret. Wow, I actually remembered that. Yeah. So both players playing by the rules here. 5 farm double from Meek, 6 farm single response from Night Slayer. But yeah, I'm excited. This is actually working out to be pretty perfect time. We are actually meeting up and playing in person today. For the first time in over a year, we've been playing on Roll20 for D&D. We're going to have masks on. It's a beautiful day. Here in Florida, we're going to be playing outside on the porch, cooking up some burgers. It's going to be fun. Start the day with some awesome matches of Tooth and Tail. The Toad game was really entertaining. Alright, Meek's got the tier 1 advantage at the moment. Lizards are not as good on defense as they are on offense. Night Slayer are just going to go ahead and sell that first farm. Meek is going to come around, try to find damage. Night Slayer is going to push in with the Lizards. And actually takes the engagement. Nicely done. He had less Lizards there, but since Meek was hard focusing down that Warren, those first few rounds of Squirrel Fire were not hitting the Lizards. And I think we're going to even out about from right here, right? I mean, yeah, it looks pretty close. I think Night Slayer's got a little bit more food, but not by a lot. So slight advantage to Night Slayer in the early game, but Meek is still totally fine here. Cams? Yeah, Cam's on the way. And Skunk's on the way. So, Toad versus Toad, that can lead to some pretty Kappa-Poggers engagements. There's a lot of ways to slice that, you know, typically. It's hard. I'm not sure if you really want to have less Toads, like 6 versus 9. You might want to be the 6th player, but it's a little more complicated here, since having more Toads, like, yeah, all the Toads clash into each other. That's better for the person with less Toads, but having more Toads means you have a better chance of connection. Meek actually pulling the Toads back, hoping for some hits specifically on the Lizards, but a little bit too fancy with the micro there. Night Slayer just took the engagement and then ran away before the Toads were able to connect. Yeah, Meek over microed that. I like what he was going for. And that was a nice engagement for Night Slayer. And remember, Night Slayer already had a small edge from the early game. Ooh, these cams here are going to soak some of those Toad hits. Those Toads from Meek! Oh, man, they find their targets. Damn, dude, all those Lizards getting deleted. Look at that army graph there. So it was like 2 engagements that went marginally better for Night Slayer, and then 1 engagement that went drastically better for Meek. Those cams, like, tanking a couple of those Toad hits, but living was very, very important. It's interesting how Toads have evolved over the years. Like, there's been some metas where you want the cams to tank the Toads. There's other metas where you don't want the cams to hit, like, you're trying to hit the tier 2 with your Toads. It really just depends on how much splash the Toads have been tuned to, how much single target. that sort of thing. But Toad seemed very powerful in modern Tooth and Tail. We saw that in the Premier League finals, where Toads and kind of like Toad Boar, the Bustin' Justin as I coined it, was very powerful. Ooh, these cams catching that sneaky base. Big engagement there. Looks like it went okay for Night Slayer this time around since the cams were not at home. But it didn't go so good for Night Slayer that Meek is just, you know, in a bad spot. Like, yeah, he didn't have the cams there. That left his tier 1 pretty exposed to getting hit, but he's alright. Economies are down in the dumps, by the way. We're well past the 5-minute mark. We're on minute 6. And this has just been such an action-packed map that neither player has really had much of a chance to expand. Night Slayer tried taking the ninja, but was taken out by the cams about a minute ago. And Meek's pushing in. I love these kind of gritty, down and dirty, low eco games. This is where some really fun stuff can happen. A lot of decision making on what you keep, what you sell. Getting a Warren there is really huge. Both the cams went down though. Night Slayer able to keep one skunk alive. Now Meek is on a farm advantage at the moment. That farm really needs to go down. Night Slayer. I said Meek. Night Slayer needs to kill this pig. That is huge. There you go. One of Meek's, okay, one of those farms just fallowed out, so 2-2. Meek does have a mill. I like keeping just the 3 toads. Yeah, selling down, I like this a lot, this lizard toad. But if Meek can actually afford, can he afford the cams? I don't think so. I think the cams are too spendy. You might want to sell that off. He's going to try to be lean on the tier 1, but I think this is a dangerous game. He's really, really hoping he gets the good toad hits on these lizards. Night Slayer's starving, and he's not committing to another mill. He could take that campfire. Oh, and he's going to take this mill. Oh my gosh. All right, Night Slayer is starving 1 second ahead of Meek. There is the campfire that a player can use to reset that. Ooh, that is huge. 2 toads for free there with the cam. No, Night Slayer's gonna go for the mill. Oh, but he really needs a toad there to tank the toad hits. 28 seconds, 27 seconds. Oh man, he needs to be careful. That mill's gonna go down, but the other one is not done building yet. Meek takes the match by a second or two. That mill was building for some good time. That was almost done. I think Night Slayer should have just gone for that campfire. But I'm casting, and he's the one playing the big match, so he knows better than me. Alright, this is it. Last match of the game. 1-1 for each player. Will Night Slayer advance to the final stage to face off against Melvin Fro, or is his run in the spring split over at Meek? A pretty respectable way. If you are going to get knocked out, getting knocked out on boss number 6, not so bad. Let's see it, though. Let's root for Night Slayer, the challenger. And again, you can swap back to your first deck here, since you can't play the unit you played in the previous game. So in the top right, we got Night Slayer. Bottom left, we got Meek. It would be fun to... I think this is a better rule for balance, Gent, but it would be cool to play like a... I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but like a best of 3 where you just can't use any other unit that you've used at all. So when you get to like the 3rd game, players are like scrambling, you know, you gotta throw in like mole and artillery and stuff like that. Alright, 4 farm double from Meek. He's putting it all on black here. He's all in. 5 farm double response from Night Slayer. These Warrens are a little bit exposed, but the pig is the first target, and he's not gonna get it. This is big for Night Slayer. Now, hang on. The rush is not over yet. Meek has another chance in here to just finish off this pig, and the other two squirrels are not here yet. The pig is gonna go down, but it was very, very close. Meek lost a lot to get that pig, so we're probably in a similar position. Yeah, when the dust settles, I think we're pretty even. Because, yeah, the pig went down, but Meek lost a lot of units to get it. My spoon's too big for the follow. Thanks, man. Normally I don't announce follows, but I like that name. The old Rejected comics. Alright, nice pick off here for Meek. This is exactly what I needed, but he's not done yet. He's going to come in and get the pig, too. He's going to survive with 3 lizards. 3 lizards traded for a Warren and a pig, but Nightslayer has the opportunity for the counterattack. It's not going to be as strong as it would have been if he had 9 squirrels here instead of 6, but he's going to try it and see what he can do. The emergency turret going down for Meek. Nightslayer needs to find a little bit of damage here. Going to try to get a Warren, but that's a lot of lizards. 5 lizards versus 6 squirrels. The squirrels will hold, but the lizards are going to continue to pump out. There's 4 squirrels here, though, so they will be able to take out the lizards as they trickle in one at a time. Warren goes down. Another Warren is under attack. Nightslayer punishing the aggression. Oh, can he get that last Warren? It's so close. He gets it. That is huge. Nightslayer playing so well. Really great, scrappy game here. Okay, Nightslayer. Moving forward. Oh, if that Warren goes down, that's it for me, right? Yeah, this is looking over. Nightslayer might be about to advance to the final extra special sauce stage against Melvin. But let's see if Meek can bring it back. Meek's in a rough spot, but he's not out of this just yet. And if Nightslayer throws, if Meek can kind of find some decent engagements, he could crawl his way back into this. It's kind of funny, at the end of the tournament, you got to face off against Meek and Melvin Fro, both of our Premier League finalists. Nightslayer continuing to come in here and pressure. Another pig goes down, and this looks to be the end for Meek. 6 squirrels. Well, as I say that, more lizards are coming out, but another pig goes down. And Meek's gonna fight till his last breath, but too many squirrels here for Nightslayer. Love to see the squirrels kind of being the bully in the squirrel versus lizard matchup. And the lizards are just, you know, they're very powerful units in a lot of situations, but defending, tucked into the Warrens, tucked into the pigs, is not one of them. Nightslayer, with the victory, gonna advance forward. And that is it for today, ladies and gentlemen. We can take a quick look before we go at the 21 Duels standings here. This is where we're currently at in the tournament. Nightslayer versus Melvin coming up. We've got Airloo, Lego Man, and R22, and this guy on Meek. Oh, no Tosh matches, unfortunately. Tosh matches have been the best so far. And yeah, we're coming through here. A couple people still need to get going here. Kerpa, shaking my head. Oh, you don't see the website, I'm sorry. I didn't press the right button. There it is. Alright. Yeah, cool. This is kind of where everybody's at. Get a good zoom in here. Bam. Yeah, we still got a couple people need to get started here against old Snake. Epicosity. I don't think I've streamed any of the Epicosity matches. Maybe I streamed one of them. How did Epicosity stage work? Oh, yeah, maybe I did stream one of those. That sounds familiar. Anyways, y'all, I gotta get going. I have a Dungeons & Dragons campaign to run. So, thanks everybody for tuning in. It's always a lot of fun. Big shout out to the gentleman, as always, for keeping these awesome events going for the scene. And yeah, that is it, everybody. Take it easy, and we'll see you next time. I might go live on Tuesday. We'll see. Hey, Kipo's live. He's not really playing Tooth and Tail, doesn't look like, but we'll raid him anyways. Let's go raid old Kipo. So take care, everybody. Probably see you on Tuesday. Tuesday at 6 EST.